Shakti was an incredible teacher, and my first encounter with her was I had been sent by a friend to this workshop that she had at her house. It was just for one night, and I arrived there. Shakti started speaking about things which to my mind at the time made no sense, and I essentially had decided already after about half an hour that I would not be coming back to Shakti. and then she did this amazing hollow flute breathing, through the perineum and cycling of this energy. And at the time I also thought, I don't feel any energy, this lady's crazy. And I went home deciding that I would not be engaging with Shakti again. However, I woke up the next morning and my body was filled with an aliveness that I had not felt before. My consciousness had kind of, I just felt much more connected to myself and in a much more blissful state than I had encountered before. And this intrigued me. And I thought, I don't know what it is this lady's doing, but she's onto something here. And I'm going to stick with her until I find out what that is. And so that's what I did. And that was the beginning of a very long and profound and amazing and transformative journey with Shakti. And I think that was one of the things that really struck me from the beginning, was that for me, how she taught me as a student was actually mostly through experiences. She, for me, was highly skilled and adept in not just telling your mind what it is you should be experiencing or what the ideas were around her teaching, but she was able to take you into an embodied experience of it, so that your mind was not actually required to be part of the party. And once you had that experience and wanted to have further understanding of the teaching, she was still able to provide that. But for me, what was so amazing about her was that it didn't require one's kind of ego mind to really grasp or even be willing to agree with whatever she was saying. You could actually experience what she was saying. And that is something I had never encountered before in any kind of teacher. And I think that was one of her greatest skills. One of the other things I loved about Shakti is the saying which comes to me all the time, which is, how much bliss can you stand? And for me, this idea is really transformative. On the surface of things, it sounds like it's just about bliss and pleasure. But if one understands Shakti's idea of bliss being complete acceptance of all that is, including not just the light, but also the dark and one's shadow and discomfort, then you start to understand that if you can actually live your life truly embracing bliss, then you live an extremely and fully alive life. And that, again, for me, was one of the greatest gifts that Shakti gave me, was to really just fully embrace everything that is, and to live a full life. And I think that is a gift to humanity, is immense, because we all live in kind of a slumber before we are awoken and able to actually sit with discomfort and staring our shadow in the face. And Shakti called us all to do this, and to really see the truth as it was, and to cut through illusion. And for me, one of the things that enabled her to do this was, in fact, her immense softness and her immense love for her students. And so at the same time as one would experience this kind of cutting sword of truth, there was also the love that could hold one in that, so that it was possible to really engage that. So that love for me, and Shakti's unconditional love of all her students, of the feminine, of the masculine, of the world, of animals, for me that also was really, really stood out for me, and is what enabled me, and I think countless others, to sit in extreme discomfort without being traumatized, so one could be transformed without being traumatized, which again I think is really, yeah, quite profound, given the degree of discomfort we all sat in. So that yeah, that love was everything. And then the last thing I wanted to say is how Shakti, for me personally, really helped me come home to myself. What I mean by that is that through this process of facing what I needed to face, and also really just accessing my higher self and accessing source, in a very embodied and experiential way, I met who I truly am, beyond thought and beyond mind, and that is literally the essence of life itself. And so, yeah, I am deeply grateful to her, and for having met her, for really, really just bringing that that strong sense of who we all are, to us and to me and to her students. And from that place of pure presence in oneself and in one's body, one can literally change the world. And I can see in all her graduates that everybody has gone out and done that in their own ways and in their own different ways. So Shakti's legacy most certainly continues, and the ripples of her magnificent and transformative energy are very much still with us. So thank you, Shakti, and thank you, Rianne, for creating this beautiful opportunity to provide tribute to her. With love.